Welcome back guys to a brand new tutorial. In today's video we're going to build a whole Spotify MP3 player clone using Django and Python. Alright, before we start, let me just show you what we're going to build in this video. So right here we have a beautiful looking index or home page, and right here we have a couple of navbar items. So let's click on register one to register a new user, and we'll create a new user called like the video. Alright, we'll just put a random password and we're automatically logged in. When you register, you're automatically logged in. And now you see we have playlists right here. We can't add this song to playlist since we don't have any playlists. We need to create them, but we can play songs through the index page like so. And now to create a new playlist, just click here on the navbar, create playlist, and we can create a new playlist. Let's call them also comment something. Alright, let's create a new playlist, and now we can actually add this playlist, this song to this playlist we just created. So let's add Sky High, for example, add to playlist, and we can actually check it right here in all playlists. We see this also comment something, and we can see this Sky High Electronomia by Electronomia. Let's add another song or another two songs so I can show you something. Let's add Symbolism, and let's add Heroes Tonight. I like that song really. So go to all playlist and select the just created one. So we see here they want us to click play button now, so let's just do that. So let's play Symbolism. And you see they want us to play Heroes Tonight next, but we can actually enable shuffling, and maybe if we are lucky get a random song to play. And you see here the randomized song chosen is Sky High by Electronomia. So yeah, this is what we are going to build in this video. You have link in the description my GitHub where you can get all of the codes that I wrote inside of this project, but I recommend you type everything as I do, and also check out the pinned comment of this video. I made you a free PDF guide on how to help you pass the beginner stage and escape the tutorial hell. And let's start building this project. Alright, so the first thing I want you to do is actually make a Django project. Now I won't show that in this video since I already did in my beginner's guide, so make sure to check that out if you didn't see that. I will link it right here, but I'll put a little arrow pointing at that. It is a little white circle. You'll see that. So just click on that, and it will redirect you to that making Django project video. Okay, so I said what we will not make in this video, but you came here to see what we will make in this video, and that is just a model for our MP3 player. Now, of course, we already covered that in our beginner's guide, but I will actually show that again, since the fields are not the same. So the first thing I want you to do is just check if you, in your my site directory, in your settings.py, if you, instead of installed apps, just put your main app name. Mine is called main, you see it right here, so just put the same name you put here in your installation. So that's it, and just save the file. And now we can cover the actually model for our songs. Alright, so same as the beginner's guide, we'll just start with the class and then the name of that class. I'll just call that the song, since yeah, we will store songs in that model. So also we will put right here models.model, just like we did in our beginner's guide. Okay, so the first field we will create is actually title of our song. So that will be models.character field, and then for our inside of our brackets we need to put max length, because if we don't put that we'll get an error. So just put anything. I'll just put 200 characters. It is a lot, but we will not create a title more than 200 characters. So the next thing is we'll put a artist of that song, which will also be a models.character field. And then for the max length, we will also put 200. The next thing, we'll actually create a genre. For that, also we will use a models.character field with max length of also 200 characters. Now the next thing is actually the audio file. So audio, or actually I'll call that audio URL. So I will not store files inside of our project or our database. I'll just store URLs from YouTube or whatever platform, redirecting user to that song. So if I explained it correctly, we'll also use models.character field for this one. With max length, I'll just put it at 300. It is a lot, but yeah, I don't really care. The next thing we want to create is actually a duration of our song. So duration is equal to models dot, now you guessed it probably, character field. And with the max length of 20 characters. Now the last field we're going to create is actually an image field, since yeah, every song has its own cover image. So we'll just call it cover underscore image. And you definitely didn't guess this one. It is not character field, it is image field. So here I'll just type this upload to, and then the directory I want to upload to is called cover underscore image, and just put the slash at the end, as I said always. And this field I will actually type blank equals to true and null equals to true. Now what this 2 means, it just means that this cover image is actually not required. You don't have to specify this cover image. And this upload to, it just means when the user uploads the image to our database, this is where that image goes, in that directory called cover image. And the last thing we want to do inside of our models.py is, before making migrations, is actually making a str method, so we can see inside of our admin dashboard what the song is based off the title. So we will pass self here and just type return self.title. That is it. We made everything we need inside of our models.py. Now the last thing we need is to make migrations and push them to the database. So to do that, we want to type Python manage.py and then make migrations. And we see right here create model song, and now the migrations are made, but we need to actually push them or save them. That is by doing Python manage.py and then migrate. And that is it. We made migrations and we pushed them to the database, and now we can actually check that by running server again. By the way, you can use arrow keys to point inside of your command prompt the last messages. That is a tip. So inside of our admin.py, we can just first of all import our models. So from .models import, and then we can use this star to import everything. But since we have only one model, it is okay to import only one. So here just type admin.site.register, and inside of here just put that song model we created. Oh yeah, and I forgot to actually create a super user. So to do that, let's just type Python manage.py and then create super user. I mistype Python here, and it asks us for our username. I'll just put admin. You should put that too. Email address you don't need to specify, so I'll just keep that by typing enter. And the password, just type password you want. I'll just put my password I use always for my admins. Oh, it didn't match. Let me type it again. Alright, and we see it right here. Super user is created successfully. Now we want again to run the server so we can actually check that our model is created inside of our admin dashboard. So we can use our arrow keys, as I said, to navigate to our run server command prompt message. And now just go inside of our your browser and just type this URL here. So this one, copy that, paste it here, and just type admin. And you should be redirected to this page where you'll just type admin instead of your username, because you displayed it here. And for the password, just type the password you typed inside of your command prompt. And once we log in, we should see our songs right here. So we can actually add a song, which I will do right now. So for the title, I'll just, first of all, I need to browse the song I'm going to add. So you can go inside of your YouTube and just find the song you want to add. Alright, I found a song I want to add to my MP3 player. So I need to use no copyrighted song since I don't want to get copyrighted on this video. So now what we want to do is actually click this share button right here and just copy this link right here. Click copy, and then we go back to our admin dashboard, and just inside of this audio URL just paste that YouTube link you copied, and for the title just pass everything you see here. So Heroes Tonight, let's just copy that. For the artist, he's called Yanni, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Genre, I don't know what is this genre, but I'll just copy this. And for the duration is 3, 2 columns, 28. Now for the image, I will not pass it right now since we didn't install a package called Pillow. I think we need it because we are going to get an error if we try it without that. But for now, I'll just not pass it, but I will in the next tutorial. And also I will show you this, one second, this blank and null equals true, that it works actually, that you don't need to pass that field actually. So just click save here. That's it. The song Heroes Tonight was added successfully. Alright, in the previous video we made our song model and displayed it inside of our admin dashboard. Now I actually didn't show that, but if you try to run server using without installing that Pillow package I talked about earlier or in the previous video, we're going to get an error like so. So I think you got this error and you were wondering like why didn't I get this error and why did you? But it's because I already had my Pillow package installed earlier, so I didn't know I had it installed already. So what I want you to do is just go inside of your command prompt and just type pip install and then Pillow, and that's it. So now when it downloads, now you can use images and run the server actually. So let's just do it. Okay, now it works. Alright, so again, I'm sorry for misunderstanding, but let's now get into actually working with images. Now we did already a first thing when installing that Pillow package. Now we need to specify a directory where our images will be stored. I know we already did that in our models.py, like so, upload to, then cover image, but this is just the subfolder of our media folder we're going to create inside of our settings.py. Now head over to your settings.py inside of your my site directory or whatever it is called. It should be the same as this folder right here. So just go there in settings.py, and just beside this from path lib import path, also import OS. So this is what we're going to use to create a media folder for storing our media files. Now you should scroll at the bottom of your settings.py file, and you should find this static underscore URL variable, where you will just under that just type media with all caps underscore URL that is equal to in quotation marks media, and then slash at the end. Now what this means, it just means what is the folder name of our media folder. So that's just how our media folder is going to be called, and that's just media. Like you don't want to name it anything beside that. Now we set to Django what is our media file called. Now we need to specify where it is stored or where it will be stored. Now you can do that by also in all caps typing media underscore root is equal to os.path.join, and then base underscore dir or directory, and then the name of your media folder, which is just media, we specified right here. Okay, so once we showed what is our media file called and where it is stored to Django, now we actually need, instead of our urls.py, to specify again where it is stored, because we can now actually add image to our database, and it will be stored inside of our media folder, but we cannot use it inside of our HTML because you need URL patterns to do that. So now instead of our URL patterns, I want you first of all to import two things, and those two things are just from django.conf import and then settings. So we are importing settings we are going to display inside of our URLs, and the next thing is from django.conf.urls.static import static, and this is just the static files we are going to use. Now we imported things we need. Now we need to actually display it inside of our URLs. Now we're going to do that by typing plus and then static, and inside of the brackets, first of all we need to do a what is our actually folder called, our media folder is called. So that is just settings dot media underscore URL. So that is where we are using this media underscore URL we displayed here. And the second thing is just document underscore root, and that is just equal to settings dot media underscore root. And that is it, just save the file. So again, this is a urls.py from our my site directory, and now we can actually add a path to our main URLs. I didn't actually create that file. So this is how we do it, just import include again from django.urls and just type path and then the prefix of the path. I will not use anything, so just leave it as blank, and then include what is actually our URLs file called, and that is just main.urls. Now once we display it here, now we also need to create it inside of our main directory. So just right click on it and create a new file called urls.py, and we can just copy all of these things. So all of this, paste it here. We don't need any of this except these two, or only one, but I'll keep it. And then also from dot import views, so we can use our sorry, not from but from, so we can use our views functions to actually make a functionality to our website. Now I'll also create one URL also with the view and also the HTML file, so we can actually display our image we got from our admin dashboard. We'll also add one image because we didn't do it in the previous video, so let's just do it. So path, and then we already did this a ton of times. So this will be a index page, so I'm not going to specify a URL. And then views dot index, and the name, I can name it index also, and also put the comma at the end so you don't forget it and get an error. Now instead of our views.py, let's create a functionality to this index page. So let's just create a function called index, because we named it index in our urls.py, and just type request here. And then we also need to, from dot models, import our song model. And now I want to display all of our image of the songs on our index page. So we can do that by typing songs here for name of the variable, and then typing song.objects.all, and this is how we get all of our objects. And then we can just return the template we're going to create, return render, and then request, and what is the name of the directory and also the file, which is just main/index.html. And for the context, we need to pass this songs, and where it is coming from, that's just our songs variable. Now head over to our main directory and create a new folder called templates. And then also inside of our templates, make a new folder called main, so we can actually store our pages inside of our main folder, not just plain templates. And just create a new file now called index.html. And now we got this index.html. Now we want to actually pass those images of the songs. Now we need to actually use a for loop, because we're getting all of our database objects and we want to loop from them and just display one at a time. So let's just do that by typing these curly brackets and then percentage signs, and then inside of them just type for example song in songs, and then we also need to close our for loop, so add for, so because HTML doesn't have that functionality to actually know when it is closed or not. And then I'll just display a image for now. So we can do that by typing these two curly brackets, and then just typing song.image.url. So this is how we get actually a this is not called image, because inside of our models.py we called it cover image. So we need to copy that actually, and instead of song.image.url it is called cover image.url. So now we can actually see the image, but first I need to add an image to our database, because I didn't do so in the previous video. And now you can actually add this image I found on Google. So just type Heroes Tonight Yanni, and I choose the first image that popped up. So just click save image as, and then just type here Heroes Tonight. I misspelled it, but I don't really care. And now I actually downloaded it 2 times, but doesn't really matter. So we can just go to inside of our cover image field inside of our admin dashboard and just display this one right here. Once we click save, it is successfully changed, and we can check inside of our Visual Studio, or we can also go inside of our folder directory. So we can go inside of our folder directory, and when I open it, so I called it MP3 Django player, you can go inside of here, and we can actually see this media file or folder is created actually. We didn't create this manually, it was created automatically when we added an image. So we can go inside of that, and we actually see this cover image, we displayed it inside of our models.py. So we can go inside of that, and we should expect, this Heroes Tonight image. So now let's actually see if this is actually displayed inside of our index page. So if we refresh this, yep, we should see our image right here. And we can also, for example, add a h1 tag. So, or h3, let's not make it that big, and inside of, again, this double curly brackets, add a song dot name, I think I call it title. Okay, so title. And of course, guys, this is not the final look of this website. We'll create it that it looks like a Spotify clone, so we can actually, you know, experience that. But it will be in the later videos when we will actually style the website. Now we are just working on functionality, so we can actually make the Spotify functionality to play music and make playlists and stuff. We'll do everything in this series. Alright, guys, in the previous video we added cover images to our songs model. We see it right here, and we display them inside of our HTML page. We see it right here. And now what I wanted to do in this video is actually play the music. Now how I will do that in this video, we'll just have some kind of button that user can click, and in the background the music will play. Alright, guys, so to make that functionality, I will first explain what I want to do, then show you the code. So head over to our admin dashboard right here, and we see our main models and our song model. Click on it, and then open these two in new tab. And now you see I added one more song to show you this. So you see these two URLs. So for this Heroes Tonight we added in the previous video, and this one for that I added right now. So you see how this URL starts with https www and then youtube.com, but this one starts with https youtube.b. So that is because I for this URL I use that share button thing, and for this funky song I copied URL from here. So now I will show you why this is important, that we know that there is two URLs actually of YouTube. So now what I want to do is actually just get this ID of the video from these two things and just use them to play music. So how to do that? You want to head over to our models.py now and write the code. So first of all, just below our str method, we want to type a new function called YouTube URL modify. Now, why modify? Because I want to make that YouTube video autoplay itself. So that's why I called it modify. So now what you want to pass here, we just want to pass self to modify this audio URL. So now once we called our function, now let's jump into functionality actually. So first of all, we want to check if the URL starts with that youtube.b and get ID from that, and later on we'll get the ID from the youtube.com. So you just want to type here youtube.b and if it is in self.audio URL, we want to do something, and that something is just grabbing that ID. Now to get the ID, we want to call the .split function from Python. Now let's actually show how it works. So we'll call this variable video ID, just that. So we'll get an ID from that video. So what I want you to do is just type self.audio URL. So from our audio URL, that's www.youtube.com/heroes tonight. That's not the ID, but I'll show you. So from that, I want to split. Now, what I want to split? I want to split the first showing, or sorry, the last showing of the slash symbol. So this. Now I'll show you what I mean. Go here, And you can see, so this is a u2.b, and the last showing of this slash is right here. So the first showing of this slash is here on the HTTPS. Now I don't want to get that, I want to get the last slash. So the last slash and or everything after that. And I want to stop at this question mark. I think that is the last thing that is not the actual idea of this video. So how to do that? We already splitted the last, or sorry, we didn't actually split the last slash, and that's just by doing -1. So this is the last item of the list, or that URL. So the last showing of this slash, I want to split it. And also I want to type dot split again to just grab this this C thing. So this question mark and then C and other stuff, you know. So to grab that, we want to again type the parentheses, and inside the parentheses just type question mark C and equals. And also I want to type the first showing of that. So now we got our ID if the URL looks like this. Now we want to see how to get an ID if the URL looks like this, so the normal, I would say, URL. So that is by doing elif, and then what is the URL? It is just youtube.com in self.audio URL. So again, we want to call that to see if the youtube.com is somewhere in our audio URL. So now what you want to do, if it is inside of that, we want to do literally the same thing, just a little modifying. So I will not copy the code, I will write it again, because I hate to copy code. That's not how you learn. And just type video underscore URL again. It's equal to self.audio URL. And again, we want to split. Now, this part is not the same, because if we look to our, yeah, this is where I used this. So, normal URL. So, the last slash is actually this watch question mark we and equal to sign, and then the ID. So we don't want to get just the last slash. We want to get from here. So from this, we want to get just this ID. We don't want to get watch and other stuff. We just want this ID. So that's where it is not the same. So just go here and type what you want to split from. We want to split from this we equal to. And again, we want to get the last showing of that we equal to. And again, we want to split. And what we want to split? We want to split this and symbol. Okay, I found it. And the first showing on of that. So what is this? This just means the other parameters of this URL. So for example, there could be also and start is equal to 0.05. So this is where the song will start, and we don't want to get that. We want to split from that. We don't need that. So that's just it. We can now save this, or I already saved it, but okay. And save this models.py, but also we need to return this video ID we now specified. So now what I want you to do is just return and then the f string, so we can actually add this video ID at the end of the URL. So now I'll first show the code, then explain it. So now I wrote this URL and now I'll explain it. So we're returning this https youtube.com, and then this embed or embed, I don't know how it is called or pronounced. So embed, I'll say embed. This embed thing helps us display this URL inside of our HTML. So we can use this in our HTML file and actually play the music without clicking any button. So we can use this embed button, thing in the URL just to play songs inside of our HTML without using any JavaScript or something. So now, what is this video ID? That is just the video that it's going to play. So that's how YouTube knows what video to play. And then these question marks and these parameters inside of the URL, that's just the thing to autoplay the video. So autoplay is equal to true, controls to and other stuff. You don't need to worry about that. Now once you made our models.py, now we want to create a view to actually make the functionality to play that song. Alright, so to create the functionality of playing the songs, we want to go, of course, in our views.py, and instead of our index function, just type the following. So play song underscore ID will be equal to request.get, and then what we want to get, our play, and then none. Now, what this means? This just means we're going to grab a ID from that URL that is clicked, and then just save it inside of our variable. So now, and this none is just the default, so the default will be none. The default of the ID will be none. And now, once we got our ID, now we also want to create a play song variable that will actually play the song. So play song is equal to none by the default. And now you'll understand everything once we go inside of our HTML and we see everything in the really practice. So if there is a song ID, so if in the URL is displayed, if it is displayed in the URL, we want to do something, and that something is just that play song is not gonna be a none anymore. It is going to be a get object for, so I imported it from Django.shortcuts, so just import that, and then we're going to get a song from our song model, and what parameter we're going to use to get that song is just ID we got from this play song ID. So that's just that. And now this I didn't explain this get object of 404. This just like we do. This is the same as doing this song.objects.get, and then pk equals to, or sorry, ID equals to play song ID. But this get object of 404 just returns an error to user if that object of that ID isn't found. So that's the better way to use that, not just get method. And yeah, we did everything inside of the views.py and also the models.py. Now we want to go inside of our index8.html and actually display everything and play the music. Oh yeah, and before we jump into the HTML, we first want to pass this play song variable in the HTML template. So just in the quotation marks type that, and then also the play song variable where this is coming from. Alright, in the previous video we just displayed our titles and also the images of our songs, so that is right here, which doesn't really look beautiful, but I said we will style it in the later videos. So now what you want to do is just display the title as well as the cover image, but also with a play button right next to them. So every song has its own play button and user can click on it and just play the song actually. So to do that, you first of all want to type HTML and then this column and 5. And this will create automatically this structure of the HTML. So this is available in the Visual Studio Code. I don't know if it is available in other IDEs. Just type HTML5 on Google and this will be probably the first thing that will pop up. Alright, so why we need this? We need this just to display our iframe tag inside of our HTML. Now I will show you what is that. You probably never heard of that because it is not really used, but yeah, I'll just copy this. Alright, so copy that inside of our body tag, and we can, for example, here type all code Joker Spotify. Hello. Alright, so why we need this for loop, and also what we will do in that, we need it so we can actually create an URL redirecting user to playing that song. So what you want to do is just type a here, and it will create a href tag in HTML. And where do they want to redirect them? We want to redirect them to the question mark and then play, that is equal to, in a double curly brackets, song.id. So we'll just grab these IDs from our song. So for example, Heroes Tonight has the ID of 1, and it will be displayed in the URL, and also play that song in the following code. So also what we need is a button, so we can actually submit that. So button with the class of play/button, so we can style it later on, and just type play here. Now if we save this and try to look it up, we can see the button right here. Now if you click it, you see this slash and then question mark play equals to 1 is displayed actually. Now you see that it works actually. Now we need the functionality to actually play that song, or yes, to play that in the background. So how we will do that? We'll do that by typing a function in Jinja template. So curly bracket and then 2 percentage signs, and inside of them you want to type if play underscore song. Now what this means, so if you remember, inside of our views.py we created this play song variable that by default is equal to none. So if play song is not equal to 1, is not equal to none, we will do something. And what is something? First of all, we want to close this and this if statement, because I already talked about it. HTML doesn't have that indentation like Django, Python and Django does, so to know when it is indented or not. That's why we need to close the for loops and also if statements. So we want to create that iframe tag I talked about earlier. And what we need to do inside of that, we'll first of all create a class for that, so we can style it and make it invisible. So I'll call it hidden player. Cool name, right? And then the source, we need a source to play the music from. So what is the source? That is just our YouTube URL modify function from our models.py. So how to get that? You want to type this double curly brackets, and inside of them we want to type play underscore song dot YouTube underscore URL underscore modify. So we are calling this function. So we are calling this function from this variable play song. And also we will add a autoplay functionality, so it actually can autoplay itself, that we don't need to click on it to play itself. So what you want to do is type allow and then autoplay, then this semicolon, and then encrypted media. And I think we got everything. I'll also allow the full screen, but we will not need it. So now if I save this and try to come back to this website, we see this right here. So if I play Funkit, the Funkit is played. If I play the Heroes Tonight is actually played. Now I don't want to actually, so you can see this allow full screen, but we will not use it. So, okay, so I want to hide this because I don't want to see this YouTube thing displayed on our website. Now you can use JavaScript to actually doesn't even show this, but I don't like to use JavaScript because you're coming here to learn Django and not JavaScript. So I'll try to, or I will actually make this Spotify clone without using any of the JavaScript code, just HTML, CSS, and Django and Python. So how to actually hide this? Now you see we added this class thing inside of our iframe tag, so we can go here and just type style tag inside of our head tag. So style, and then what you want to do in style, we just want to type dot and then the name of the class, which is just hidden player, and this again curly brackets. Instead of them, we want to set the position as absolute, and this will just if we save this, for example, this will be displayed whatever on the page, so it will not have the margin and stuff. So we can actually use that to type left equal to 99999 pixels. And what will this do? It will hide the player. Let me see if I think it is not playing anymore. If I click play. Alright, we made everything. Now I'll just style a bit this button thing so it doesn't look like this. Okay, so I styled this page a bit, so you can copy this code and yeah, you can use it by yourself, but in the later videos we will actually create it like it looks like a Spotify clone. And also I have a GitHub account, I opened it, so you can actually copy the code and snippets from it. So yeah, but I do suggest you always type the code manually and not copy it, because you're not learning if you're copying this code. Like everyone can do that. So yeah, you can just copy everything. I styled the image to be a lot smaller, and also this stuff, so this is how it looks. I mean, it is not good, but yeah, it is definitely better. And yeah, we can play the song again. And also this one. So yeah, I think we did everything in this tutorial. We played our songs, we first of all modified the URL, then got the ID from the URL itself, and then played the song in the front end. Alright, so in the previous video we added a functionality to play our songs, and we actually played them inside of our browser. Now I want to actually create a users so we can later on add playlists, and the Spotify clone doesn't actually looks like this, like you don't see a song at the home page and press the play button. Yeah, that's not how it works. So we're going to add a, instead of this play button, later on we will add a add to playlist button, so we can so users can add their songs to the playlists. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is create a HTML template, so we can actually display that forms we're going to create to register the users. So let's just go inside of our templates and then main directory and create a new file called register underscore user .html. Now I'm calling, you'll see I'll call every view or HTML file or URL register underscore user. That is because I don't want Django to misunderstand if I want to call the view or HTML file or Django built-in functions. So that's why I'll for example login call login underscore user. So let's get that out of the way and write the HTML template. So the first thing I want you to do is type this HTML file starting document, and then just change the title, for example, to register today and the exclamation mark. So now we want to create a form that will that users can type their information about themselves in and register themselves on our website. So we can actually create a new file called forms.py and then create a form, but I don't want to do that because I showed that in my beginner's guide. I want to show you the method using only HTML to grab the information from the form. So let's just do that. So we can call a form, and it's easier, and using the HTML it is easier to style that form, so that's why I'm using that. So let's just call form right here and define our post method. We don't need this section. Now what we need instead of this, we first of all need to use a CSRF token so we can actually prevent our form from getting hacked and stealing information from that. So, and also we're going to get an error if we doesn't put that in. So let's just put our curly brackets and these 2 percentage signs, and inside of them we want to just type CSRF underscore token, and that is on everything we need to prevent from hacking our form. So now to create the functionality so user can actually type the information about themselves, we need a input tag inside of the HTML so they can type the information in our form. So just go inside of our form actually and type input right here, and we already see this. So we can actually type right here a placeholder, and we'll type a username. Alright, and also I will add a required field so user can know this is a required field, and actually he needs to type something or else he cannot pass this form to our website. So this is the first field. We now actually need 2 more fields, and those are password 1 and password 2. Now password 1 is the password they're going to use to log in the other time they're going to go inside of our website, and the password 2 is just the confirmation password they will type, so yeah, they don't misspell one word one letter, and they don't know the password anymore. So that's why we're going just to make 2 password fields so they can match and help user not miss a letter or word. So I will copy this because it is the same thing, just instead of this text you just want to type a password for the type, so the HTML actually converts this into the password. And for the placeholder you want to type here a password with 2 S, and also the confirm password, and I'll just uppercase this U here. And I think, yeah, and also we need a button so the user can submit this form, and let's just add that. So button with a type of submit, and just type register here, and that is everything we need. So we got our username, users should type the password, and then to confirm that password so they don't misspell something. Now also we need to add a name field so we can actually access our HTML data inside of our views.py, so we can actually get the data that user submitted. We get it using that name parameter inside of the input tab or tag. So we just type here name, and for this first I'll just type username, and also we can copy this because it is the same, just change the text. And for this I'll call password, and this one I will call password 2. So this is just password, this is password 2. Alright, so once you made our HTML template, now we also want to go inside of our views.py so we can create a functionality to grab the data and also create a new user, and later on they can log in back again to our website. So first thing we want to do is import two things, and those are just from django.contrib.auth import authenticate and also login. And also we will need a user model from the Django, so we can create a user inside of our database. So that is just from django.contrib.auth.models import and then the user model. And that is the only thing we need for this register, and also login and logout. Alright, so we imported things we need. Now we want to create a view register underscore user to create the functionality to grab that data from the form and also create the user. So now let's just create a new function called register underscore user, and we always want to pass the request. Alright, and now so we got this form and you see this method that is post. Now what does it mean? It means when user clicks a submit button right here, they're submitting data to our server. So we want to grab that information from the server and do something with it. So first of all we need to check if that method is post. So if they are posting data, we want to get it. You can't get the data if it isn't posted, right? So let's just do that. So if method request under dot method equals post, post in quotation marks, we want to grab that data. So how to do that? You want to type username and then request dot post and this squarely brackets, and inside of them type the name we used here. So the name of this input tag, type that inside of our this variable. So now if you're coming from other tutorials, you've probably seen someone is doing this right here. Instead of this squarely brackets, he's using this get and then this normal brackets. So right here you have probably seen this. So what is the difference? The difference is this one, so this I'm using, expects the user is submitting the username, so it will give us a key error, and for this one the user doesn't actually need to pass anything, and if he doesn't pass anything, this will return none instead. So this returns error if it isn't found, and this one returns a none if it isn't found. So that is the only difference. So you would use this one if you want to return something to the user if he doesn't pass anything. Since I'm using this required thing inside of our inputs tag, we don't need to use this get thing, so because the user needs to pass something, so we don't need it. Now if I explain it correctly, we can now type a password so we can get our password, and that is the same thing. So request.post and then password right here, and we can copy this again, call this password 2 and also this one password 2. Alright, so once we got our data from our name fields inside of our input tags in our form, now we want to actually check this data if it is valid or not. So if we would have used the forms.py file I talked about in my beginner's guide and at the start of this tutorial, we could just type if form.isValid and then this brackets, and we would check everything we need, and we wouldn't have to type this manually. But since we didn't use this form thing inside of our forms.py, now we need to do that manually. It is not really complicated, you will see. It's like 5 lines of code, so let's just do that. So the first validation we want to check is if this password thing is equal to password 2. So if those two passwords match, we want to save them. So now how to do that? You want to type if password is not equal to password 2. And now if those two passwords are not the same, we want to redirect the user to again to our page and display something to him, like the passwords didn't match or something. Now later on, when we add Bootstrap, we'll also add a messages. The Django has its own messages thing where the messages can pop up on the screen. But now I won't add that since we're not still styling the website, we're just working on functionality. So I'll just print the things so user can actually know, or in the console. So let's just print him the passwords didn't match. Alright, so once we print that, we also want to redirect the user again to that register page so he can actually again type the data. So return redirect and then to our register underscore user function. And we need to also import this redirect from the shortcuts. Alright, and that is it. Alright, so we checked if the passwords are not the same. Now we want to check if the user already exists in our database. So to check that, we want to type if user.objects.filter and then username equals username dot exists and the brackets. Alright, so what this means, so we are checking if the user we imported right here from the Django models is, we are filtering first of all through him if the username from the database already exists from our posted data. So for example, I already have a admin user I created at the start of this project in our terminal, and if for example I want again to type admin, it wouldn't allow me to using this. So this exists, just checks if it exists in the database. So that's the only thing we're checking right here. And now also we want to print, for example, username already taken exclamation mark. And again we want to return the redirect to our register user view. Alright, so we validated all of the data. Now we want to actually create the user itself. So how to do that? We want to use a try method just to bypass any other errors we could get. So for example, someone actually bypasses this required field instead of our HTML somehow, and we just want to try to create the user without that. And if it doesn't work, we want to raise an error. So let's just try to user is equal to this user we imported here dot objects dot create. So we are creating him using the username we posted here, so this username, and also the password the client using our website passes, so password equals password. And once we created the user, now we want to save him to the database. So you actually need to save it. You need to save it so the Django actually saves it, right? And now I also want to log in the user right away. So a lot of the old websites, when someone registers, they also require the registered user to log in again. So I don't like to do that, since if the user typed the registered data, you want him to register automatically, right? You don't want to type again the same data you just typed 5 seconds ago. So I'm going to redirect. I'm going to log in the user right away. So to do that, you want to type login and then request and user also, and that's done. I think I don't know why in the older websites didn't do this. It is just 1 or 2 lines of code. And this is the login we imported from our Django contrib auth. And now we also want to return redirect to the home page. I called it index, I think. Let me check. Okay, yeah, I called it index. And also I will print in our terminal console successfully registered with 3 exclamation marks. And also we want to see if there is an error. Actually, we want to print it, so except exception as E, and then print we need to use any F string error, and then display it right here. And we also want to redirect to the index page. I'll redirect to the register underscore user. Yeah, that is better. So I think we did everything inside of our views.py. Oh yeah, I forgot. We also need to return the render, so, or actually return the template. So we type request here. We type where the file is located, so it's main/register user.html, and for the context we don't need anything, so yeah, that is it. So in the URLs we also want to create an URL, so we can copy this and just type here register underscore user and then slash at the end, as I said always, and you just change these two data, so the view, our view is called register underscore user, you see it right here, and name is register user, so we can redirect to that URL and also use it later on in our templates to redirect users. So now we can actually check this by going inside of our website and just typing here register underscore user, right? And now we see this ugly looking form, but as I said, we will style it later on. So we can add a new username called subscribe, for example. The password, I'll type the normal password, yeah. Alright, and we created the user. So now we can actually check that by going inside of our admin dashboard and go to this users thing in the authentication and authorization. So if you click here, now you want to actually again log in as admin here, admin, and the password should be this one. That's it. We created the subscribe new user, and you see when we actually created the user, it asked me to type the admin password again, and that is because I use that login thing. So where is our views? Okay, so I use that login thing to actually log in the user, and it automatically logged out the admin user. So that is why I need to again pass that information about my admin user. Alright, we created a register user. Now we want to log in the user. So we'll create first of all the HTML file called login underscore user.html, and now I'll copy everything from here. Now I said I like to copy things, but this is just HTML and the functionality is the same literally, so yeah, I'm just going to copy this. And we don't need this confirm password since the user is already created. He just wants to log in, so why would you type the password 2 times, right? So instead of this register, you just want to type login today. First of all, login today, and then login for the submission. So if we save this, we want to go inside of our views.py and create a new function called login, or sorry, not indented. We want to create a new function, login underscore user, and always pass the request thing. Alright, so now same as this register user, we want to check if the request.method is post. So again, if the data is posted, we want to get it and then do something with it. So again, we want to do if request.method equals post. So if it equals post, again we want to get this 2 fields, so this username and password we got from here. So again, name. You want to pass this name function, or sorry, field in the input tag in our HTML file, so the Django can get that information from that name field. Alright, so we got these two things. Now we want to authenticate to see if it already exists in the database. So how to do that? You want to type user equals authenticate, and then what you want to authenticate. You want to authenticate first of all request, and then you want to check the database looking for that username and also the password. So username equals username and also password equals password. Alright, so once we looped through the database to see if this user exists with this username and this password, now we want to actually see if it is not none. So if it does exist inside of our database, we want to log in him. So let's just do that. So if user is not none, so if user is not none, so if he actually exists, we want to do something, and that something is just a login using the request and also that user right here. So once we logged in the user, we can actually print this. We can actually print that it is successful and redirect to the index page so he can enjoy our music. So successfully logged in. And else, if he actually exists or actually doesn't exist in the database, we want to print wrong credentials. Yeah, I think it is spelled like that, I don't know. And then redirect to our login underscore user function. And the last thing we want to check if this request.method is get, so just return the render. And yeah, instead of this register user, we want to type login underscore user. And now we want to also pass the URL to our login underscore user. Alright, so let's check everything again. So let's register again the user. So username will be a team, for example. Password, just type password you want, and then confirm that password. And if we click register right here, okay, it should, okay, successfully registered. Okay, this error is because I tried to do something, but I forgot the password to the subscribed user. And let's just see. So if I go again inside of our admin, if we refresh this page, we should again see that login information. So yeah, you see it right here. You're authenticated as team. So you see it actually worked when we register the first time. The login actually works. So now let's again go to login user and try to log in as admin here. So login as admin here on our HTML page. So for the password, again type your password, and we logged in. Let's refresh the page and we should see our users again. Okay, we see them right here. Alright, and the last thing we want to do in this video is actually log out the user. So to do that, we want to create a new function called logout and then pass the request right here. And this is the easiest of them all. You just want to from this Django contrib auth also import logout, and just type logout here, and then what you want to log out is request, and that is just it. You don't need to pass anything. You can, for example, print the successfully right here, successfully logged out. We can print that and also return to index. Sorry, right here. So we don't need a template. Sorry, I will not call this logout. I'll call this logout user. So we don't need a template for logging out, since the only thing you want to do is tap a button or go to the URL called slash logout user. So let's just do that. I'll copy this, keep it here from now, and just pass it right here. So we have a lot of copy pasting here since everything is the same really. We can just type here logout user and we should log out ourselves. It looks like it didn't do anything, but if we check here, successfully logged out, and if we try to refresh this page, we should see again the popped up login again to the admin page thing. That's right. In the previous video, we added a functionality to log in, log out, and register new users. And now in this video, we're going to use that users so they can have their own playlists and they can add those songs we have on the home page. They can add them to their playlist and play the music there. So in this video, we'll just create a playlists model so we can, in the later videos, create a functionality when they click a button. They can create a new playlist and also add the songs they want. Alright, so head over to our models.py and let's start writing the code. So just below this song model, we'll also create a model called playlist. And also we need to pass this models.model so the Django knows this is a model for our database. Now, for the fields we'll just create a name field of this playlist so the users can name their playlist. For example, this one is for work, this one for training, this one is for programming and other stuff. So that's the field we're going to create. So that will be a character field, since yeah, you just want to type like 50 characters maximum to describe what this playlist is about. So let's just put that by max length of 50 characters, or I'll put 100. And now we also need a user model. Now why we need that? That is because different users want to have their own playlists. Now, for example, admin user wants to have its own work playlists, and the team user we created in the previous video wants to have its own playlist. So yeah, that's why we need users to differentiate the playlists to each user. So you can just type right here user equals models.foreign key, and this foreign key thing, it just connects two models to each other. So this playlist model will be connected to that user model we need to import right now. I'll import it from the views, we have it right here. So you see we're connecting our playlist model with this user model. And we also need to specify a onDelete method. Now, what is that? That just means how our playlists model will react when the user is deleted. So, for example, if I pass right here onDelete method as models.cascade, this just means when I delete a user from the database, for example, I go to my admin dashboard and delete the team user. If he has some playlists on his name, also those playlists will delete itself. So yeah, that's the thing we need to specify, or else we're going to get an error. So, and also we need a related name. Now what is this? This just helps us reference this field from the user model. So we'll use this just in the views. You don't need to worry about this. I'll talk about it when we use it actually in the code. So now we can call this playlists. Yeah, that is a good name. And now we also need a song field so we can actually add the songs to our playlists. So let's just do that by typing song equals models.many-to-many field, and specify the song model right here, and also the related name of also playlists. Okay. So what is this many-to-many field? This one means many playlists can have many songs. So for example, admin user can have 2 playlists on his name, and he wants to have many songs on those playlists, right? You don't want to make a playlist that has only one song. So many playlists can have many songs. That is everything you need to know. And also we'll have a str method right here, str, delete this thing, and I'll put this in a f string and display name of this, sorry, self.name, and also who is it associated with, self.user, user. Yeah, I think we did everything. Now I will make migrations and push them to the database. So go to our terminal and just type right here. Now again, you can use those arrow keys on your keyboard to, yeah, specify the previous messages. So you can just delete this one and type make migrations and also migrate. And that's it. Now we can run the server again and register it to the admin website. So we called it playlist. We need to import it right here also. Yeah, I think we did everything. Now we can go inside of our admin dashboard and find our playlist model in our main models. Click on it and now we can add a playlist. So we'll call it programming. It will be associated with admin user and we'll add 2 songs. Now if you try to do it yourself, you'll probably see something like this with only one selected, but you can select multiple by holding Control on your keyboard. So hold Control and then click on another one. So now we can click save right here, and that's it. We have the programming playlist with associated with user and also that has these 2 songs. Now we can also add another one also to user called training, and I'll just put funky because it is more, you know. Yeah, save it. Later on we'll add more songs, or I'll do it in the background so you don't need to watch that because you already saw that. So yeah, we have those 2. Now let's one for the team user. I'll call it what else can I do? Work. Did I put work already? No, I put programming, and yeah, we'll put heroes tonight from now. And yeah, we have 2 playlists that are associated with admin user and one with the team user. Alright, so in the previous video we created a playlist model with these 3 fields, and now in this video we're going to create a functionality to actually create those playlists in our front end and not just in the admin dashboard like we did in the previous video. And also we'll create a functionality to view those playlists we created and also the previous ones. Alright, so for that let's create a new HTML file called create playlists.html. Alright, and let's just copy from this login user .html this whole code, since it really is the same thing. Instead of this, just type new create new playlist, and instead of this login just type create right here. And now we'll delete this one of those 2 input tags, and instead of this username in the name field in this input tag, we'll change it for, I'll put name underscore playlist, or I like to use dashes more. Okay, and instead of this just type name of the playlist and a couple of dots. Yeah, I think we created everything in our HTML. Yeah, we got everything. Now we go inside of our views.py and just under our logout user view create a new view called create underscore playlist. We'll pass the request right here, and also we'll need to check if the request.method is equal to post. Basically I'll explain it in short form. So we're checking if the request.method is post, which means if the user is posting the data to our server, we can actually grab that data then. We see right here this form from the post method. That's how we grab the information. So right here we can just type, let me see how I call it. Okay, name dash playlist. So I'm going to copy this. Just instead of this dash, you need to put the underscore, because Python misunderstands that dash and doesn't allow it for the variable name. And right here just type request.post.get, and instead of the quotation marks just put our name of the input tag, yeah. Alright, so we got our name of the playlist. Now we need to check if the user is authenticated, because remember in our models.py we created this user field. Now we want to check if the user is actually authenticated, so we can create the playlist on that user's name. Let's just do that right now. So you can do that by typing if request.user.is authenticated. So if the request.user.is authenticated, we don't need the brackets for this one, since we are checking if it is the false or true. And now if he is authenticated, we want to create underscore playlist that will create a playlist dot objects dot create, and we'll create a new playlist with the name we specified right here. And also we need a user to be equal to request.user. So request.user is just the way to grab the user currently logged into our website. And after that, I don't think we need to save this, but I'll just save it anyway. So create playlist.save and return the redirect to currently we don't have the view playlist view, so we'll just redirect to our index page. And now we need to check what happens if the request.user is not authenticated, so we put else right here, and we can just return back to our index page again. Return redirect to our index page. Okay, so also we need to pass the render. So yeah, we can just copy this one. Again, a lot of copy pasting in this video, but really the functionality is, I will not say the same, but yeah, you understand it. It's really similar. So we can copy this one, since the HTML file and the view is called the same. I like to call those two things the same. So we can go inside of our urls.py and create a new view, or sorry, create a new URL called create underscore playlist. Also copy these two things and paste them inside of as the view and the name. We can now check if this actually works by going inside of our index page and just typing in the URL create playlist. I have it right here. Okay, so as the name of the playlist, we'll create a new playlist called cooking, or cooking, yeah. And it looks like it didn't do anything, but let's check it by going inside of our admin dashboard and refreshing this one, and we can actually see our cooking playlist created as from the front end to our admin dashboard. Okay, so now we'll create a functionality to actually view that playlist we created. So we'll actually create a new HTML file called view underscore playlist. Alright, so once we created the file, now also we'll create a HTML5 startup document, or startup blueprint, whatever it is called. So right here as the title. Now we didn't actually create this variable, since the first thing I'm doing always is creating the HTML file first, then the view, but we'll create a variable called playlist dot title, or how it is called, name. So just from the playlist model, we're grabbing the name field, so that will be displayed as the title. We'll add later on the variable inside of the views.py, so this doesn't actually work still. Okay, so let's actually create the body. The first thing I'll create is the playlist name again, so I'll put it actually in the h3 tag, call it playlist, and then colon also playlist name, so I can copy this. Actually I'll put it in the h2 tag, and now I'll create a h3 tag called songs. Okay, and I'll create a unordered list, so ul, and instead of that I'll create a for loop, so for loop looping through songs in playlist dot song.all, so looping through all the songs, so we get each instance in this as this song variable. And also we need to close the for loop, since HTML doesn't have that functionality to close itself, or indentation to know when it is when something is in the for loop or not. Okay, and now for each song we'll display the title of that song, title alright, and also dash, and also song dot artist. So I'm just styling this page a bit. Yeah, I think it is it. Later on we'll add the functionality to play the songs also on our playlist, not just on our index. And now we can create a view actually for this one. I'll actually copy all of this, but I think I will not keep like 90% of the things, so we need the view playlist. Also we need a primary key, since we have a lot of playlists, you can see right here. So you have 4 of them, you need to pass the primary key to get the specific one. And now we'll do we need the request.post? No, we don't need that. Let me just indent this the right way. We don't need the getting anything. We need the if the user is authenticated. We don't need to create it, and if he isn't, redirecting to that thing. And also instead of this returning to index, we'll return the template called view underscore playlist. That's it. And now inside of this we'll need to pass this playlist variable, so playlist equals from the playlist model. We want to loop through the objects, or sorry, get from the objects the playlist that has the ID of this primary key, and also the user is equal to request.user. Alright, I think we have everything. We also need to pass the playlist as the context, so we can do that by typing it like this, playlist. Okay. And yeah, I think we have everything. We can now create a new URL. We can copy this one again and change this one to view playlist, and also right here create a int of the pk and put the slash at the end. So again, I'm flying, I know, through the explanations, but we're getting this primary key from the URL and grabbing it in our views.py and just displaying the playlist that is associated with that primary key. And now we can actually check this one by going inside of our index page and just type the view underscore playlist, and we'll check the first one. Okay, we have it right here. So it actually didn't go inside of the new line. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I know why. I didn't put the li tag. So right here we can put a li tag, cut this, go here and check. Okay, now it works. Later on we'll style this so this doesn't look like this, but okay. Alright, and I'll also create a functionality so the user has its own playlist displayed on the page. So remember, we have, for example, for the admin user we have 3 playlists right now. He doesn't want to pass the ID, he doesn't know the ID of those playlists, so he needs to have some kind of a list so he can choose which playlist he wants to play. So we can do that by going inside of our HTML template, or sorry, creating a new HTML template called all_playlists.html. Alright, so right here we can create also this HTML5 thing. Type right here playlists, and right here we can create a UL tag again, and also the for loop. So for playlist in playlists, we're going to close this for loop, and now inside of this we'll just display the title of those playlists, so playlist.name. And we can, for example, add right here a h2 tag for playlists, just to name this thing playlists s. Alright, do I need anything else? I need a li tag. Okay, cut it and paste it here. Yeah, I think we have everything. We'll check it by testing it. Create a new function called all playlists. Okay, all_playlists, and we'll pass request right here. Now here we don't want to get all of our playlists, since the admin user doesn't want to have the team's users playlists. He wants to have only admin wants to only see admin's playlists. So to do that, you want to type playlists equals playlist model dot objects dot filter, and we want to filter through the user field and check if the request dot user is actually the user that created that playlist. And also we need this request dot is authenticated, or else we're going to get an error. And let's actually pass the render right here. So all playlist.html, this is playlists, and if the user is not authenticated, we'll just return redirect to the index page as always. Now we can check this one by going inside of our right here, or sorry, I need to create a URL first. So let's just copy this. We don't need this pk thing. All views playlists. Alright, and now we can check this. So just copy this and see if it actually works. Yeah. Alright, and now I'll actually add a href tags to those titles. So go here and also a tag, add as beside the name of the playlist, and put the href. Alright, and inside of here let's just put a function for the URL, and now I need to check what is our view playlists. Okay, so view playlists, or sorry, it is not plural. And also we need to pass this playlist.pk. So let me explain this. When the user clicks on our name of the playlist, or their name of the playlist, they're going to be redirected to the view playlist template that has the primary key of the playlist selected, right? So we can go inside of our, so we need to save this, and we can go again and refresh this, and we can actually see it. So yeah, it works. Oh yeah, cooking doesn't have songs since we created it on our front end and actually didn't add songs. So we can add some songs. Let's check this one. If we refresh, yeah, we see it right here. In the previous video, we added a functionality to create new playlists, view all of them, and also view individual ones. And now in this video, I want to add some kind of drop-down list on our index page so the users can select, for example, this Heroes Tonight song, to which playlist they want to add that Heroes Tonight song. Head over to our index page and create a new form tag with the post method. We don't need this section again. So now what we'll do, we'll create a form that, as I said, will have a drop-down menu where the users can select which playlist they want to add the selected song. So for example, we see we are looping through songs right here. So each song on our index will have that drop-down menu where they can select which playlist they want to add that song specifically to that playlist. So we can, instead of this form tag, first of all we need to add a CSRF token since we are dealing with the post method, and that needs a CSRF token to not get our data stolen and hacked. So we can actually add that by typing again this curly brackets and also the 2 percentage signs, and inside of them you need to type CSRF underscore token right here. And now we'll create a input tag that will be hidden, and there will be stored those song IDs so we can get them later on inside of our views. So just type input right here that has the type of hidden, that has the name of song underscore ID, for example, and the value needs to be song.id. So this song, for each song from our song model, we want to get the ID of that. And now we'll create that drop down menu I was talking about. So we can type right here select, and for the name we'll use playlist underscore ID. We don't need this ID thing. And now inside of that, and also I will add a required field. Required, okay. So now inside of that we'll create some kind of options so users can select which playlist they want to add their that songs to. So the first option will be the default option explaining the user what they need to do. So you just want to type here option, and for the value you want to set it as empty, and right here you will type selected and also disabled. Now these two things, selected is just the default, so this will be selected as default, and the disabled doesn't actually pass this required field, so you can't click the button if this is selected. So right here just add select playlist. Alright, and now we will loop through the playlist and select the options, or pass the options to the users through all of his playlists. So now we can do that by typing again this curly brackets and also 2 percentage signs indicating that this is a function, and right here just type for playlist in playlists. We didn't actually add this variable, we will later on add it in our views.py once we finish with this template. So, and we also need to close the for loop. And now inside of here we want to again type option, and in the value we want to actually get the playlist.id. So we want to get that playlist, specifically his ID, so we can in our views implement that functionality to add the song to the selected playlist. And inside of here you just want to type the name of the playlist so the user can know what they're selecting, right? So you can type that playlist.name, I think I called it. Let me check again. Yeah, so we are getting from our playlist model this name thing. And now we also need to add a button, of course, with the submit type button. We can add this, and I'll just call it add to playlist. Alright, so now we can actually go inside of our views.py and scroll down to our index page or index view, and right here we first of all want to get all of our playlist, but we first of all need to filter it because admin user doesn't want to get team users or other users playlists. So we need to filter that only admin's users or admin's playlists show to admin and team's playlists show to team. So we can do that by typing playlists equals playlist model dot objects dot filter. And what we're filtering through, we're filtering through the user field. So this user field that is equal to request dot user. So the currently logged in user we're checking if he is the actually creator of that playlist. And now right here again, since in our index this was a post, let me see where it is. Okay, so this was a post method form. We now need to check if the request dot method equals post. Now we want to get that song ID, where it is. Okay, so this song ID and also the playlist ID from the name fields in the selected and input tags. So just go right here and type, let me again check. So song ID will be equal to request dot post dot get, and then that song ID thing. And also we can copy this, and instead of the song just type playlist. So a little explanation. So we are checking if the request.method is post, which essentially means if the button is clicked, we want to get the song ID from the name field. So we're getting it from this field. And if we don't find this song ID or playlist ID, we will not pass those information to our database. So we can check that by typing if song underscore ID and playlist underscore ID. So what this just means, it means if the song underscore ID and playlist underscore ID are not none, so this will return none if it isn't found, and if it is found, we want to do something with it, and that is just getting that specific playlist that has the ID of that, and also getting that song that has the specific ID of that, and then adding that song to that playlist. So we can do that by typing playlist equal to playlist dot objects dot get, and then right here you want to pass the ID that equals to playlist underscore ID, and also we can pass the user to be equal to request dot user. And for the song it is the same thing. So from the song model we want to loop through the objects and get only one that has the ID of that song underscore ID. And now to add that song to our playlist is playlist dot song dot add, and then this brackets, and inside of them you want to put that song we specified right here. Alright, so I will explain this right now. So we're getting our song ID as well as the playlist ID from our form right here, and then using those IDs we will get the specific playlist that has that same ID, and also the song that has that ID, and then adding that song to our playlist. So from playlist model, this song field from that playlist model, and then add that song. And now we also need to pass right here the playlist variable we see right here, and that is equal to playlists. Alright, so we can actually make this work. So you see for playlist in playlist, so we can loop through the playlists on our index page. So if we refresh this page, we can actually see these select playlists, and we can actually see all of the playlists that has admin as the owner of those. And let me actually a little bit style this, and then we will work on functionality. So I will actually put this above the image tag, and also add a break line tag. Let me see how this works. Okay, it's a little bit better. So now, if we select, for example, let me check which playlist doesn't have. Okay, so work playlist. It doesn't have the funky song, so we can actually go here and add the, or sorry, here and add the, or sorry, this is the theme user. Alright, training. Okay, so training doesn't have the Heroes Tonight, so we can actually go here and select the training playlist, and you see actually this works. We don't see the work playlist from the theme user on our admin users playlists. So we put training right here, and we click add the playlist. Alright, we got an error. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put this as the, this should be a variable actually. So playlist.id in this double curly brackets, indicating this is the value of this field. So now if we refresh this like this, we still shouldn't see that, yeah, since it is a error. And let's put training again, add the playlist. Also the same error. Let me find that. Alright, here it is. So value of song ID. A lot of errors today. Let me again refresh the page. Training, add the playlist. Okay, now we didn't get an error, but let's see if this actually, if this training playlist is actually updated. If we refresh this, we should see both of those selected. That's right. Alright, now I'm logged in as theme user. You see, we see the work playlist and not the other ones. And now let's actually create a new playlist. So create playlist, we'll call this chilling. Alright, create. And now we can actually see that pop up right here. And let's add, yeah, Heroes Tonight is a chill song, right? Let's add that to the playlist. And now we can actually go inside of here, and we need to again log in as admin, and we should see chilling that has the theme user and also the Heroes Tonight selected the song. In the previous video we added songs from our index page to our playlists from our frontend right here, and now in this video I want to go inside of our view playlist, for example with the index of 1, and play music from here. So I want to have some kind of play button, and when I click for example on Heroes Tonight, I want to also click for example next song and play for example Funk It and other songs also. So that's what we are going to do in this video. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is modify our HTML file. So go to our view playlist.html, and just inside this for loop looping through all of our songs, we want to again, just like we did in our index, let me find that. Alright, so playing this song, we can actually copy this or this. Alright, and if we save this now and check right here, we see this play button, and if we click this play button, we can see this question mark play equals 1, which indicates this is the first song we added to the database. And for example, I added a couple of more songs in the background, and we can see actually if we click play here, this is the 4th song I added, this is the 5th one, and so on. And what we will do with this, we'll just grab later on in our views.py, we will grab this index and use it so we can play our music and also play the next one and other things. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is actually play that song. So once we got this index from the song, we want to play it, and we already did that in our index, so we can go right here and just copy this thing. And basically what this does is checks if there is something in that URL. So we will check if there is something in that URL. This play song variable in our views will not be none anymore, it will have some kind of value, and if it does have some kind of value, we will play that value using this URLs modify right here. 1 second. Okay, so this right here, and we actually need to add that URL just like we did with this play thing. We want to also add the play thing, but not for the current song, but for the next song. So ID will be 1 plus 1, right? So right here, just go and type, for example, now playing. So we can go here and create a paragraph. So now playing, and then we can type right here play song dot title, and we can, for example, type right here play song dot artist. I can type really. Alright, so now once we got this now playing thing, we also want to add a thing for displaying what the next song will be if they click on the next button. So right here, let's just type if next underscore song. So again, same thing as this one. If there is a next song in the list, we're going to create a list of songs currently in this playlist. You'll see, you'll understand everything better once we go inside of our views, but we'll create a list of those songs in playlist, and if this list has any more songs in itself, we can actually play that next song. So we can end our if right here. So to do that, we want to actually copy this thing. Yeah, a lot of copy pasting, but yeah, I explained it correctly, so you don't need to worry about that. So instead of this song.id, we want to type next song.id, and this next song is just the variable we are going to create in our views.py later on. And we can change this to play next, and then show the title of that. So next song.title, and also I will show them the artist. Sorry, next song.artist. Alright, and the last thing we want to do is if this play song is none, so if they didn't click the play button, we want to show them that they should do that by typing right here else. So if the button is not clicked, we want to type in the paragraph again, click play button now. Alright, now I think if we refresh this, nothing will show. Okay, this will show. Alright, so click play button now. Since this is nothing, this variable doesn't even exist, so it is none actually. So now we can go inside of our views and make a functionality to play those songs in order. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is get that ID of the song from this URL right here. So when they click a button right here, we want to get this ID from that URL. So how to do that? I will actually cut this and move it just under this index, just to have like it will be really the same thing, so you can understand it better how this works. So just like we did right here, we want to also request.get.get. So from the URL, this request.get means we are getting something from the URL, and that is this play parameter. So everything after the question mark is a parameter. So that's how we got those parameters from our Django functionality. So right here we can where it is. Alright, so play song underscore ID will be equal to request.get, and then we want to get that play parameter. Alright, and if it isn't found, the default will be none. And we also want to set the play underscore song default as none, also with the next song equal to none by default. So we can later on, when we type a couple of if statements right here, we will change this to not be none and actually work inside of our HTML. Alright, so now we want to check if this play song ID is actually not none. And we do that by clicking play right here, and we can see this change. So this play equals 2 actually showed up. So we want to see if this showed up, we want to do something with it. And now how to do that, you just want to type if play song ID, and then what we want to do is this play song will not be none anymore. It will be equal to song.objects.get and get it by the ID of that play song ID. Okay, so let me now explain this. So through this play parameter, we're getting this ID of 2, and and Django does just copies that 2 and replace this variable with that 2, and now we're getting song from our database that has that ID of 2. And now we're going to create that list of songs I talked about in our HTML. So just type right here playlist underscore list. And now we're going to create a list of this playlist .song.all. So we're going to create a list of all of our songs, and we need to do it by the list because, for example, in this playlist programming, you see the third song of this playlist has the ID of 4. So we can't check it by the database. We need to check it by the order in the playlist, and that's why we need to make this playlist thing. And now we want to check if this play song actually exists in this playlist list of all of our songs in that playlist. And we can do that by typing if play underscore song in playlist list. And now we want to get the current index of this play song in my playlist. So what I mean by that, so this one has the index of 0 in my playlist. This has ID of 1 in my database, but this is 0 in my playlist, right? This is the 1 in my playlist, and this is the index of 2 in my playlist. So this is why we need to find that index where it is located in my playlist. And we just want to do that by typing current underscore index equals to playlist list dot index, and we want to find that index from that play song. So play song, what is the index of that in my playlist list. And now we want to check if this current index has the next song in that playlist. So what I mean by that, so if we, for example, play this symbolism song, it has the index of our list of 3, and there is no more songs, so the next song variable won't work, right? We can't play the song that has the index of 4 if it doesn't exist. So we just want to check that, so we can pass later on this next song variable. So you just want to type right here if current index plus 1 is less than length of this playlist list. Let me just correct these spaces. And the next song, next underscore song, will be equal to playlist list that has the current index plus 1. So now let me explain this again. So if the current index, so the currently song playing, plus 1, so because this is the list, starts with the 0, we need to check it by the correctly equalizing it with the length function. And if it has the next one, we want our next song to be the current song but plus 1, and that's just how it works. And now we want to pass these variables inside of our template. So right here just type next song and pass it right here. And we also need the play song variable, I think. So right here just type that. Alright. I think we got everything. Now we can check it by again refreshing this page. And let's play the song and we hope it starts playing. Alright. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to use the normal brackets. This should have been the squarely brackets. So square brackets right here. And this should fix the error. Alright. Yeah, it does. Now we'll add this styling so the so this player becomes invisible. So we'll just copy this from our index, paste it right here, and if we play this, alright, a little bit better. Alright. You see, it actually works. So we played every single song, and it actually worked. And you see also, when we click this symbolism, it doesn't show the play next, but this one does. In the previous video, we had a ability to play songs in order in our playlist. So for example, we can go to our index page and click play right here. And we have right here the button to play the next song that comes after the song playing right now. So now in this video, I want to add a shuffle button right around here. And when the user clicks on it, their playlist will not play in order right here. It will be shuffled. So, for example, when we play Funk It, the next song could be Heroes Tonight or Symbolism or on, doesn't matter. So now that is what we will do in this video. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is edit or modify our HTML template. So just under this playlist, I will create a new form tag, and the method will be equal to get. Now, sorry, it's not method, it's method. Okay, so now it is not post, since I don't want this data to be posted to my server. I just want this shuffle thing to be as the query parameter, so in the URL. So there will be something like this symbol for and then shuffle and equal to true, for example. So that's how it should look. And now to do that, we should create this form tag with the method of get. So that's how the Django will append that data from this form to the URL. Okay, so right now we'll just create some input tags that will be hidden, and so the Django later on can, using this get method from the form, append that data from this form to the query parameters in our URL. So the first input tag we'll create is will have the type of hidden, and then for the name we'll just type right here play, and also we'll have the value of if, sorry, not this, but if play underscore song, and we always want to end our ifs right away so we don't forget it later on. And right here you just want to type play song .id. So what it means? It means if the play song, so if the song is playing right now, and the song could be anything, we just want to get that song's ID. So we are, for example, playing Heroes Tonight right now. I want to get that song's ID. And now we want to create that shuffle input tag, so when the user clicks on it, they can enable or disable the shuffle. So right here, just type new input tag, and for the type also we'll set it to hidden. For the name, I will just type shuffle, I think it is spelled like that, and for the value we'll just type if shuffle. We're just going to type else here, and also end our if. Now right here, what I mean by this, so if the user clicked the button for the shuffling, so if he wants to shuffle, this shuffle variable we're going to create in our views later on is going to be true. So if it is true, we want to type right here it's to be false. Why? Because if it is true right now, they want to click the button to disable it. So right here you just want to type false, and right here you just want to type true. So you don't need any of the variables to type here. You just want to type false or true, because that is what is going to be passed in the URL later on. Alright, and right here we want to type a submit button, so we can call right here button, and we have already pre-made HTML tag for this. And right here we just want to type the user, if they want to click the button, that will disable the shuffle. So if shuffle, we type right here disable shuffling. Alright, and right here else, we also want to end our if or close our if, and type here enable shuffle. I'll just type shuffle right here. I don't know how it is spelled. Sorry. Alright, I think we got everything in our HTML. Oh, one thing I forgot is right here you want to type this, and shuffle is equal to, and then the value of the shuffle variable. So what this means, this is what is going to be passed in the URL later on, and also we need it here. So yeah, that is it. So we can now in the views get it from the URL. So we'll get this shuffle parameter, query parameter, and then do something with it, and that something is just checking if the shuffling is true. We want to actually enable the shuffling, and if it is false, we of course don't want to do it. Alright, so now once we typed our HTML frontend, now we want to type a functionality in our views.py to actually make that shuffle work. So right here just type a shuffle variable that will be equal to request.get, and then shuffle right here, also type false and set it equal to true. Now what it means, so we are trying to get this shuffle query parameter from our URL and set it default as false, and this equals to true just checks if it does exist in the URL. We want to set it as true. Alright, and before doing anything else, we first of all want to import right here from random import choice, so we can from our Python library randomize the picking of the songs from our list. So now once we imported everything we need, I first of all want to modify this a bit so you understand it better. So we don't need this playlist list to be inside of this if statement, and we also don't need this to be in that if statement. So we can move it right here, and also right here I want to type a else statement. We want to indent this right here, and also instead of this being if statement, loop playlist. So I want to set this instead of the if statement to be loop playlist, and change this to be the percentage signs. So what I mean by that, so when the last song was played, for example, right here it is this symbolism, if we would have played that song, we wouldn't have the next button right here, but using this percentage sign right here, we can actually do that, and the next song would be the first, would be this Heroes Tonight song actually. So once we got that out of the way, this else statement is not redirecting to this if. We actually want to create another if statement, which will be if shuffle and playlist list possible songs, for example. Now I'll explain this right now. So if the shuffles is true, so if they clicked the button to enable the shuffling, and also if there is a list of couple of songs, we want to create the new variable called possible songs. And what is that? That just means I don't want the same song to be displayed in this shuffle thing. For example, when they click, for example, this funky song, I want only these 3 songs to be potentially played. I don't want to have the funky again played using that shuffle thing. So that is why we need that possible songs variable. And now to do that, you just want to type for every song in our playlist list. So looping through all of the songs in our playlist list. We want to check if the song is not the currently playing song. So play song. And if it isn't, we want our possible songs to append that song. Alright. So now what I did here. So we're looping through all of our songs in this playlist list. So we're looping through Heroes Tonight, Funk It, on and on, Symbolism. And if, for example, we're playing currently Heroes Tonight, and Django is looping through all of our songs in the playlist and finds the currently playing song is Heroes Tonight, it will not append it because we set it right here that is not equal to, and it will continue and append this Funk It, on and on, Symbolism, and so on. So once we got that out of the way, we want right here to check if there is possible songs. We want to type right here the next song will be equal to choice of the possible songs. Alright, so now let me explain this. So we're checking if there are songs in our possible songs. The scenario there wouldn't be possible songs if our playlist would have only one song, and since this playlist has 4 of them, there would be definitely possible songs. And so we are checking that, and if there are possible songs, we just want to pick a random song inside of that playlist. Alright, so we got everything. We just want right here to paste it in our render, so shuffle right here. And I think we got everything. If we refresh this, we should see this enable shuffle thing. Let's check if we click it right here. Okay, and now if we click right here, Heroes Tonight, we have an error, and I know what it is. We set it right here with the spaces. We don't need spaces right here. It is my mistake. Every video has an error. Alright, and let's check it right now. I will refresh this like this and play Heroes Tonight, enable shuffling, and we see right here. Alright, the error was right here. This should have been inside of the brackets. It is my mistake again, I'm sorry. And if we check it right now, I will actually delete this. Alright, again play the Heroes Tonight and enable then the shuffling. Yes, alright, now it is playing the Symbolism. Again, you see we can enable shuffling again, and we are getting the on and on for the suggestion of playing the next song. First of all, we need to fix an error on our index view. So right here, if we open our index page on our browser, we can see our page normally and everything works. But if we log out right here, so logout_user, we'll get this error called field ID expected a simple lazy object. Now what this means? This means we are right here filtering to our playlist so we can return the playlist from the user currently logged in to our server. But since this user is logged out, it doesn't know which user's playlist it is going to show. So now right here we want to call another playlists variable, and it will be equal to playlist model.objects.none. and this will just return a non-object by default. So now we can write here, just call if request.user.is authenticated. Alright, and we don't need the curly bracket, or sorry, normal brackets. And right here, just indent this right here, and we can save this and try to check it now, and it should work. And we see we can't add a playlist since this is a required field. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is create a base.html file. Now, what this does, this just helps us not write the code, the same code, HTML code, over and over again in every website. What I mean by that, so you see in our, for example, view playlists, this part is the same as in the index. And in create playlists, this doc type, HTML head tags, body tags, everything is the same. We don't need to repeatedly show these tags in our HTML files. So we can create a separate base.html file and just copy all of that right here and delete this with delete the part that is not the same. Alright, also this form tag, and right here just add block body. Now what this means, and now you need to close it also, and block. So this helps us put the stuff that is not the same in our actual HTML files. So for example, in our index we want to show all of our songs, but in our playlist we just want to show the songs that are in the playlist. So that is what is going to be not the same in our website. Alright, and now we're going to add Bootstrap to this base.html file so we can see the Bootstrap is applying to every page on our website. So right here, go to your browser and just type Bootstrap. Alright, it will probably redirect you to this web page, and you just want to type docs right here and scroll under when you see this to thing and copy this link right here. So just copy that and paste it just under this meta tag. Alright, and we also need to add, actually, because we have those style tags, we need to add a in our head tag also the block heading. I don't know why I called it that, but it's alright, I think. So just and block right here, and now we can delete everything that is here except this. Alright, and also this one. I'll separate it, but by a couple of enters. Alright, so now we can end our block here so we don't forget it. We can copy this, also end it in our style tags. Right here we need to block heading, call it like that. Also we need it here, and I think that is it. Just call it, I think I called it body. Let me see. Alright, I called it body. And that's it. We have everything. Now we also need to type right here so the Django knows which base file we are going to use. You just want to type extends, and this quotation marks, and where the file is located, and also with the name of that file, base.html. If you didn't create this main folder in our templates, you just want to type base.html, so you can, for example, move it right here and it would still work. You just want to delete this main part, but since I'm storing my base.html file in my main folder, you want to do it like this. And now if we save this file, go to our index page, this font should change because of the Bootstrap, and that's how it works. Alright, and you can just copy this throughout all of the other pages. Alright, so once you added everything, you just want to scroll just when you see this components section and find this navbar and just scroll until we see this navbar. I think it looks the best, I don't know. It will still style it, but just go to our base and put it just above our block body thing, and let's just save it, see how it looks. Alright, something didn't work. Alright, I just had problems with indentation. So right here we see this navbar actually looks somewhat like this Spotify one. Now I don't want to make it exactly like Spotify, since I don't want to have this search functionality, this install app, sign up, or I want to sign up, but you see these things that really we don't need to build in, we won't build in this application we're currently making. So let's just style this for our needs. So go to our Visual Studio, and when we see this home page, we just want to type right here URL of index. Alright, so that's going to redirect us to our index page. So if we go here to, for example, login user, we can click this home and it should redirect us to the home page. We'll also add this login. We also need to register. Alright, this will point to the URL of login. This one to register underscore user. Also, this is not the login alone, but login user. We'll also need the logout. Change this one, logout. Alright, so now we want to separate this logout from this login and register, since if the user is already logged in, we don't need to actually show him the login and register URL. So we just want to show him the logout one, so he can log in and log out, and later on log in or register wherever he wants. So we can delete this disabled thing, and just above this login URL you want to type a if statement. So if user.is authenticated. Alright, so if the user is authenticated, we want to show him this logout URL, and if he isn't, we want to show him this too. And always we need to end our ifs, since we're going to get an error if we don't. Alright, let's refresh this one, and we actually see only the logout thing. So if we log out now, we only see these two. In the previous video we created this base.html file and added this navbar right here, but if we take a look at the Spotify actual website, it doesn't quite look like it. So this is a dark theme, and also the fonts and other stuff are really not the same. So in this video we're going to change that. Alright, so head over to our base.html file and let's style that first. So since this is a styling only, I have already my snippets that I took a time, like 2 hours I took to style everything on this page. Since I don't want to put that 2 hours in one video, I will just provide you with the snippets that you can find on my GitHub in a link in the description, and just copy those from every HTML page and just copy to yours if you're writing the code like I am. I have my snippets right here. So the first file is base.html, so I'll copy all of these things right here. Alright, it ends here. So just click Ctrl A and it should select everything and just paste this. Alright, so if we take a look at this index now, you see it looks much better. We have this select playlist and functionality still works. So we can actually add to the playlist and stuff. So, and we also added a couple of more links. In the previous video we only had logout and home. Now we actually added the create playlist and also all playlists. And you see this base.html styling is applied to every single page on this website. will also style this and every page, but you see the functionality actually works. Now the next file is actually create playlist. Now you probably think, why am I skipping the index one? This is because I already added classes. Let me find that. Alright, so I already added a lot of classes to this file in the previous videos, and I don't need to make them again. So let's just do that. So create playlist, I think I copied that. Alright, let me indent this a little bit better, and if we try to go to this create playlist, we actually see this is a little bit better. The next file is all playlist, so let's copy that and paste it right here. I know this is really boring, just copy and pasting, but I want you to take a look how beautiful this looks. I took a lot of time to style this. So the next file, I think, yeah, it is the register and login also. So let's just copy that, register first. Alright, let me take a look at, I need to type it manually, register user. Alright, I think it looks pretty good. The next one is login, so let's just copy that again. Alright, see how it looks, probably the same really. Yeah. The next one is view playlist. Alright, I really like this one, and it is the last one, so let's take a look once I append it to this, and let's take a look. So all playlist, we'll take a look at this programming since it has four songs in it. Let's check it. Alright, I think it looks pretty good, so we can actually play this song and it still works. And that is it. We styled every single page on this website. This was a really fun project. I really liked it, and I hope you did so too. So let's take a look at this project for the final time. So let's log out actually and register a new user called, I'll call him Joker. Alright, password, just put whatever you want. I'll use the normal one I use every time. Okay, I'm logged in automatically, you see. We checked already the logout one. Alright, let's create a new playlist since we don't have any and we can't add any song. Alright, let's create a new playlist called, I don't know, YouTube. Alright, since Joker is recording tutorials for YouTube. Let's add Heroes Tonight, and let's add Symbolism, add to playlist. Okay, now we can check all of our playlists, and we only have one, which is YouTube, and we see they want us to click play button now, so let's do that. And who guessed it, the song was played. This was a really fun project, as I said. I hope you liked it. This was a little short video, but yeah, why would you watch me 2 hours typing every single line of this code when you can just copy that, since this is only styling. We didn't change any of the functionality. The one code that we changed was in our base. I added these two links. If you like this video, make sure to check out the pinned comment of this video. I made you a free PDF guide on how to help you pass the beginner stage and escape the tutorial hell, and also I have got another great video working on screen. Make sure to check it out, and I'll see you in that one.